And we begin in Ukraine, where reports are coming in of multiple explosions believed to be caused by missiles in the western city of Lviv. The city's governor saying at least 6 people have been killed and at least 8 others injured. Lviv and the rest of western Ukraine have been less affected by the fighting than other parts of the country, and the city has been considered to be a relatively safe haven. It also comes as the nation is bracing for an all-out Russian assault in the east. Joining me now is France 24 senior correspondent Catherine Norris-Trent, who's just returned from Ukraine. First of all, Catherine, what more do we know about these strikes in Lviv?
Details are still coming through about the strikes in Lviv, but the mayor and the head of the local military administration in the region say there have been several powerful blasts in the western city this morning, killing at least 6 people and reportedly 11 more are injured. Among those casualties, at least 1 child, we're told. Now, the mayor has revealed that 3 of the missiles hit military targets. He didn't give any information about that, unsurprisingly, but also 1 civilian target, a private car garage, a tyre fitting centre, and he posted a picture of damaged vehicles there. He also said that the blast had shattered the windows in a neighbouring hotel near the garage, which was housing internally displaced people who'd fled the conflict elsewhere. And this really also shatters the notion that Lviv has been some kind of safe haven. It has felt relatively protected from the worst of the war in Ukraine. I mean, there have been previous blasts there. When I myself travelled through there at the end of March, there was a strike on an oil depot, a fuel depot in the town. But it has been relatively well preserved, if I can put it like that, compared to targets further east, and of course the situation in and around the capital Kyiv. So a lot of people fleeing the conflict in Ukraine have been based in this city, just 1 hour's drive from the border with Poland, and so perhaps that sense of unease that anywhere could be struck now. We've been seeing Russian strikes across Ukraine, not only in Lviv, but overnight the Russian news agency TASS reported that Russia had hit some 315 targets. Now, Ukrainian military say they've been intercepting a lot of these, but they've been hitting not only in Lviv in the west, but the third city of Dnipro further east and around the Kiev area as well.
Coming back to those attacks, however, in the west of the country, what is the significance of that shelling?
Well, it has been to make the feeling of unease grow among the population there. People are no longer feeling as safe as they were in Lviv. But interestingly, and perhaps we'll get some more detail through on the strikes in Lviv, some of them are reported, not confirmed at this stage, to have hit near rail and transport infrastructure. And that could be really key because, of course, Lviv, they're near the border with Poland. We know a lot of the aid has been coming through. And, of course, a lot of military supplies and weapons, too, are being brought from the west of Ukraine through Poland and other neighbouring countries there. So if transport infrastructure has indeed confirmed to have been hit, that could prove a massive hindrance in getting supplies, much needed by Ukrainian civilians and the army further east, because, of course, no flights are really happening, apart from very few military flights. A lot of this is taking place by train and by lorry convoys along the roads.
Now, you've recently been in Kharkiv, which has still been hit hard by shelling. How bad is the situation there for civilians?
The situation remains dire for civilians in Kharkiv. There are daily and nightly missile strikes, sometimes air raids on that city. And the missiles, the bombs are hitting civilian areas. We saw it ourselves when we were there, the landing on residential buildings. It's thought around 2/3 of the population of Kharkiv have now fled. Russian troops remain not far away. They hadn't been able to penetrate into the centre of Kharkiv with boots on the ground and take the city as they clearly planned to at the beginning of the war, but they remain stationed around the city and they remain pounding it with bombs and artillery. And of course, Kharkiv there is up in the far northeast of Ukraine. It's on the road down from the Russian border towards the Donbass in that sense. So there's a real feeling there that it could be in line for another renewed offensive. Of course, Russia seems very keen to take the Donbass. There are questions about what will happen to the people of Kharkiv.
Catherine Norris-Trent, who's just returned from Ukraine, thank you.